our journey begins. It is day 74, actually a little bit of a delayed day 74, and which would be August 13th, 2024. And I'm here in Hinton, Canada, and yesterday I would have been approximately near Banff and Golden, Canada, and it is just absolutely so beautiful. Yesterday I did not manage to make a video due to the long amount of driving time, but that doesn't really matter too much. The point is, like, when you know that you're committed to something, skipping a day out of sheer, like, it just didn't work that day, isn't actually that big of a deal. Like, if you're working out and you know you work out all the time and then you skip a day because it didn't work out that day, like, that is, it's more important to not get upset with yourself than it is to get upset with yourself because you missed a day or whatever. Anyway, so another thought I was having yesterday was the world really is, like, actually very, very beautiful. Um, like, just being here in Canada, you get a glimpse of so much land to, like, the relatively small populations, and it's just so magnificently beautiful. And you just think, like, okay, well, like, maybe I should just, like, or people in general should just somehow move to places like this and just enjoy nature more and live in nature. And then you're like, okay, yeah, like, it's not like we have to come up with, like, some brand new way of living. Like, very likely that would be a very much better way of living. Although I do think if I had grown up living in the mountains, I'd probably potentially still be wondering. Or maybe, yeah, it's difficult to say exactly how you would end up in certain situations. But essentially, even, like, I think that our future could be, like, absolutely spectacular and stuff beyond really even our imagination. But even if not, if we can replace the bottom 80% of lives that most people live, so, like, 80% of people, the lives that they live, like the bottom 80%, like, not really getting by, struggling to do this and that, if we can replace that, like, basically living in concrete prisons or deserts or whatever of different sorts, with the people that are living the top 20%, where they can go and visit these sorts of places in nature and eat healthy food and have time to exercise. And I feel like I am definitely in that top 20% of the world. And I guess I still feel like, oh, like, life could be so much more magical or whatever. And I guess that's mostly because I know that it could be so much more magical for a lot of people who are not even, who don't even have close to what I have. And I guess that would be what I'm particularly thinking. Like, just at a minimum, if we just say, hey, let's replace those, and people will be like, well, those bottom 80% of people, like, they want to be living those lives. And if you were to ask them, they'd say, yeah, I prefer this life. But if you truly gave them the option to live something better, they'd probably take it. And then once you did that, and then you have another set of the bottom 80% and the top 20, if you just improved that as well. And I'm not necessarily talking about consumer goods and stuff. A lot of people that are living those top 20% lives, in my opinion, a lot of that isn't coming from material possessions. It's probably coming from a certain state of mind, from their state of physical exercise and whatnot, and just the conditions and environment that they're in and the people that they're around. So those were a couple thoughts I had. As far as working on the narratives, I guess when you're around family all day and you don't have that routine, it doesn't happen. But I also think that it's probably a good thing. Force myself to take a break, to take a step back, to not think about that for a few days, or like obviously to think about it now and then, but to not be totally engrossed with working it out. Although that very well could be just an excuse, but it doesn't feel like I'm, like I said in the beginning, sometimes when you're overly productive, you think, oh, I need to be productive all the time. But sometimes it's those breaks where you can make a lot of progress. So that's what I'm doing now. Whether it's the right thing to do or not, I feel like I would a little bit rather err on the side of making sure that I relax properly so that I can really give my all here, while also, pushing myself physically and to have fun. All right. Thank you so much. I will see you later.